When you are letting go of things that no longer serve you, when you are letting go of a version of yourself or an aspect of yourself that you no longer wish to identify or can no longer identify with because it cannot move forward with you in the places that you are going, there is an aspect that will make your life a lot easier, and that is replacing the old with something new, something that actually serves you. And it is essential to fill that space with something that is more substantive, with something that is more in alignment with your future, right? So when I say that, I don't mean it in a very passive way. I mean it in a way that encourages foresight. So even though you don't know what's going to happen in the future, right? Like let's say in a year, you don't know what's going to happen, or even 5 years. You can fill the space moving forward with something that will serve you with foresight in mind. With the acknowledgement that I will naturally change, transform, evolve into something entirely different within the span of a year, 5 years. I mean, a lot can happen within even 1 week or 1 month, right? So if you're making transformations constantly, or if you are just somebody who's naturally prone to change, especially when your environment and the world is asking that of you and of us, then this can be very helpful. So how do you do that? How do you acknowledge an aspect of yourself that you don't even know exists? And this is where silence comes into play. This is where taking time to be still comes into play. Because in silence, something is translated, something is being communicated to you within the silent spaces. And for the most part, we're conditioned to feel, think, sense the opposite. We want to fill the silence with something that makes us feel less tense, less rigid. And I do believe it is because we are prone to survival. We are prone to wanting to be accepted. We are social beings. Because we are social beings, we want to fill that space, and not filling that space very well may feel like a threat if your nervous system is attuned and aligned to feeling threatened by silence on a subconscious level or on a very conscious level. So, we have to create the space by way of letting go, which is what I talked about in my last video. And we also have to fill the space. And there are so many different ways that we can do that. I encourage you all to play with everything that I share, right? This is a place where you can get really creative and bounce off of the things that I'm sharing with you in your own life experience, right? And everything that I share is designed so that I could truly help with whatever might be creating unnecessary suffering, unnecessary blockages within your being and within your life experience. It is to your benefit and to everybody's benefit, to the benefit of the environment, for you to make a transformation for the better, to make changes in your life that you know are going to improve your overall state of well-being, that are going to improve your frequency, the state of being that you are in right now. and the state of being that you're in right now in relationship to your past and in relationship to your future. This is not harming anybody in a general sense. This is to everybody's benefit, right? Especially if you intend for that. Although we can stop doing something, we can say, you know what, I'm going to do it, or I'm not going to do that, I'm going to make this change, become all determined, and then completely crash out, completely go back to your old way, and in a way that is way more intense than you would have had you never made that change. And the reason why is because you're operating from a state of lack, a state of repression, suppression. So self-acceptance and understanding is paramount. To understand why you have become the way you have become. Why these aspects of yourself that you are changing are serving you, how they have served you, why they have served you, and to honor that aspect of yourself. Honor the reasons why these things have been put in place. And if the reason why they've been put in place is completely negative and not something worth respecting, take a deeper look. Kind of find the root of goodness. I'm curious how this relates to actually working with the land. But you search for that main root, the purpose of that main root, which is rooted in goodness, which by nature is not something to be completely and utterly rejected. If it has bad roots and they're all molded and they're not respectable, then you can compost it and you can get rid of it and you can accept the fact that at its core, that aspect of you is just not good and you wish to change, and that's okay. But the main thing is to do so from a place of self-acceptance, self-love, as opposed to repression, suppression, and denial of self, denial of who you are, where you come from, and therefore creating these cycles or strengthening these cycles. Once you've been able to identify these things, you must let go of the identification with these aspects of yourself. And that's the really challenging thing to do. To let go of the identification with the beliefs that you have, with the definitions you have towards certain things, to let go of all of the things, all the momentum that has created in your life, in relationship, circumstantial momentum, so everything that's happening in your immediate environment. That is the challenging thing to do. And it could be as easy as affirming to yourself that I do not identify with that. But your true measure will be the results that you're actually experiencing. So I do encourage you to affirm yourself in a positive way. But I also encourage, as you know, to assess yourself in an accurate way. To sense into where you're actually at and what you're experiencing. Is it reflective of the fact that you no longer identify with these things? And if you find yourself in a position where you're struggling, or you kind of feel yourself being pulled back, or you're not making the progress you want to make, right? Because it doesn't have to take so much time. It doesn't have to take years. Time is not necessarily a factor. It is likely because you are not replacing these old behaviors with new ones, or you are struggling to acknowledge the progress that you're making. I would say it's those two things. Those are the two major setbacks. You're not giving yourself enough props. You don't need validation from others. You need to validate yourself more. You need to look at yourself and say, you know what, I'm doing an amazing job. I'm dope. And you need to refrain from allowing other people to do that for you. Like, people are going to do that. If you're doing a great job, people are going to do that, and they're going to reflect that to you. But you need to be able to do it for yourself, and you need to be able to do it to the degree that when people give you props or people give you affirmations or whatever, it does not affect the way that you feel about yourself at all. Maybe it makes you feel a little something, but like, you don't really need that, nor do you care about that. You feel validated within yourself because of the actions that you take, because of the ways that you think, the way that you speak, and the way that there is congruency within all of these areas, as far as your words, thoughts, and actions go. So self-validation. Don't allow a version of yourself that identified with a low self-esteem, that identified with people-pleasing, to grab you by the ponytail and drag you through the mud and make you feel like you're not doing enough when you're going above and beyond. Because that is the nature of a frequency that has a lot of momentum behind it. That is the nature of an identity. It does not want to let go of itself. It wants to survive just as much as your human body wants to survive, because it's interconnected with your body. It's a part of your body. So it's as if a part of your body is dying. And as humans, we can't have that, right? So you see the grip. What it's actually holding on to is its own life, the manifestation of its own self, or the de-manifestation of itself, which you are in conscious control of, because by way of your words, thoughts, and actions. So when you have this feeling come up that you're not doing enough, or that you're not enough, when you're doing everything that you can and some, this requires honesty with yourself. That's where you know, okay, I need to replace that, allowing that tendency with something new. So when the feeling comes up, you declare, no, you stay over there. I love you, but you're dying, or I don't love you, and you're a part of me that that has no self-love, and I don't respect you. Goodbye. Right? And then the other aspect is filling the space. So holding on to the need for external validation in an unhealthy way, it's going to keep you in the same old frequency that is lacking confidence, lacking faith, lacking in so many different areas. So practice allowing yourself to feel empowered within yourself, devoid of what other people think. Practice also replacing old behaviors with new behaviors. Practice having foresight, thinking in alignment with what is not only going to serve you now, but what will serve you within the next 5 years on a character-based level. Your character, who you are. Within the next 5 years, Is the character that you're creating now going to be timeless and be able to be carried on with you within that 5-year span? Or even beyond a character-based level, on a physical level, on an emotional level? Is the being that you're created now a timeless being, a being that can act, that isn't going to have to put in all this extra legwork to make the transformation that is inevitable? So this is foundation work. This is what I would call foundation work, and this is something that I have considered very deeply. If you would like to go more deeply with me, please go ahead, comment below, email me, DM me, however you want to reach out to me, and I would love to have a conversation with you. I would love to work with you one-on-one, and I'm wishing you guys seamless transitions. I'm wishing you guys silence, peace, enjoyment, connection, and genuine self-love. That does not have to look the way that reality is telling you it has to look. You look within and you decide, what does genuine love genuinely look like? And realize that there is nothing outside of you that is keeping you from actually experiencing that except for you. This is the you game. This has nothing to do with anybody else. Love you, bye.